Time for Top Talkers. Joining us on our panel, Melanie Adams joining us from Cobb Carson and Company, from Bob, John Brenner joining us from CFRA, and Michael O'Byrne here from CTV News at noon. Great to have the panel here once again for our Monday morning. So we are all, I'm guilty right now, just really feeling it, daylight saving right now. First of all, from this article that we're seeing, it's daylight saving, not daylight savings, which was the first thing that they like to point out in the article. But there's a lot more to it than just losing an hour of sleep. And there's a lot of different health things that are happening and a lot of things that are affecting what we're doing in our day. Like driving, for an instance, the more increased heart attacks over the first couple of days of seeing daylight savings. What do you think? Can you feel the change?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like it takes me forever. Well, I shouldn't say forever, literally. It takes me about 3 days to be able to get to sleep properly. Like I was up until after 11 last night. It just throws me off completely. Which it shouldn't. It's an hour's difference. I don't know why it messes me up so much.
Because we're already a mess for getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what happens. And yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for the folks who work 9 to 5, but I know that it does take a chunk out of you if you're working a shift where you're already fighting the body clock, and it is hard to recover. I find that I don't do well now, and I don't do well when we gain an hour.
On the other side too.
No, just because it just messes with your internals. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd be talking about your internals on this show.
See how messed up I am?
I know. It doesn't affect me at all.
Oh, wow.
And I'm more of a 9 to 5 or more of a 9 to 7. But I used to work early mornings. I used to be in here at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I did that for 15 years, and it just didn't mess me up at all. I'm a really good sleeper. I can sleep anywhere, at any time. I can sleep on an airplane. I can sleep on the floor. I have no trouble sleeping.
There are a lot of people right now who are very jealous because, especially with this, people who have trouble sleeping, this really puts them into a tailspin.
Yeah. I want to like dissect you and study you and see how that works. Sleep.
Science fun with Melanie.
Doesn't affect me at all.
A new segment.
Well, for the night owls, it actually has mixed effects on people's health. Night owls tend to have more trouble than the early birds, although we are forced to be early birds, but my personality would be more to be the night owl. What I did think was interesting was the heart attack aspect of this. There's a spike in heart attacks during the first week of daylight saving, as well as a slight drop in heart attacks during the first week of the daylight of when we go ahead. So more so now and less so when we fall back a little bit.
Because we get an extra hour in the fall, right?
Yes,
Researchers tagged the spring forward results to sleep deprivation, which affects heart health. Conversely, the extra hour of fallback sleep promotes general well-being.
I have a meeting with my boss after this. I'm just going to walk in and go, oh, man, I got to go home. And I'm just going to leave. That should be okay.
I think that'll work, eh?
I think so.
I don't know how an hour can throw people off. Like, I really don't get it.
Up here.
Yeah.
Sometimes. You know what? And that's real.
And people's moods right now, I think.
Yeah, that
good or
messes
bad?
with you.
I think worse.
Worse,
I think a lot of people just are a little bit more irritated right now, feeling that hour less of sleep than maybe
I'm going to back off.
We can't all be a ray of sunshine like
all
you
the time. Okay, there was another topic that came up, and I thought this one was really interesting, especially for people who are avid users of social media like Twitter and Facebook. Lives on Twitter service lets users tweet from beyond the grave.
No.
My Lord.
People are already tweeting now.
People are actually signing up now, and so there's a gentleman, David Andrews. This is coming to us from the Canadian Press. Drew Matthews, he's 35, an avid Twitter user from Toronto, is one Canadian who has signed up for the project that keeps a Twitter user's account going after they die. What do you think of this?
I mean, what do you have to say? Either you have, like, nothing to say, or I guess if you're a zombie, you could just be like, brains on Twitter, but mostly wouldn't it just be silence?
Well, they're going to add to the user's account. They'll study their tweets, their favorites, their retweets, things that they would normally have an association with. Things that would maybe be inspirational or quotes, certain things that would be sent out.
Stuff. Just stuff that anybody could send out.
It's like when an author dies and people decide to keep writing their work because it made so much money.
Yeah.
You know, like it just, not that you're going to make money off Twitter, but I mean, it's not things that someone would actually say. It's just based on what they already said.
Yeah, but you see, the tweets that I get from people who are already living are sometimes like they're dead, and so I just don't see the point. It's,
One of the interesting things I found in that article is one of the experts quoted was saying, like, to her generation, so I gather she's probably an older person like myself, it might seem really weird and out there, But to a younger generation who's growing up with tweets and social media, it may not seem so far out, so weird.
Well, maybe I'm part of the older generation then, because I find it weird.
Yeah, but
I like to be weird,
a tweet is something from you, right? Okay, it's you. So what's the point of a tweet that's not from you?
Yeah.
Even if it's mimicking you, it's like I don't get it.
I'm wondering what it does to those who are mourning or who are survivors of this person for them to see constant, reminders or tweets coming from their loved one, or the same thing's happening with Facebook. There are pages that continue to run and to be posted on. Family members continue to post through it. And it's like, what if you were someone that was tracking them down after 20 years and leaving them a message and then thinking that they're alive. They're alive. Twitter's going Facebook page, and then the realization that this person has passed.
And 7,000 people have signed up for this already, according to that article, right?
There's a live, yes.
Yeah.
So this is all part of it. It's called Lives On. So Lives, like Lives on.
Yeah.
And so that's the name of this company that's putting something like this
There'll
together.
be an app for that next week.
I'm not sure I'd be downloading it. Yeah. Thanks so much to our panel. Interesting topics for us today.